What's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy Next Gen 720, and I'm back with another video. Weekly podcast. I got a new character on the show today. Before I start, introduce yourself. Black Lebowski.
What's up? What's up?
All right. We got, like I said, I don't know what Doe was at. Maybe he'll chime in. I'm kind of impressed with Tom today. Sorry to say, but anyway, it's been a lot of shit going on in everybody's Twitter feed, Facebook's groups, you know what I mean? And the shitstorm as of yesterday that hit was Sony raising their prices of the PlayStation 4 in Canada. Now, before I say that, like to say that the American dollar is more than the Canadian dollar, you know what I mean? But still, you know what I mean? Last time I checked, Sony was a Japanese company. What the fuck they got to do with anything? But anyway, like I said, in crap game, let me know your thoughts. Like I said, I've never seen a console been on the market for 5 to 6 months to, receive a price hike.
Well, it seems, it seems like they're trying to, do a little bit of the price gouging. You know what I'm saying? The PS4 is a little bit obviously an impulse buy for a lot of people, and it's selling well. Probably kicking themselves a little bit for not having it, $50 more, because they still say it was $50 cheaper and more powerful. So that's kind of the thing that irks me a little bit, I guess, about Sony. They're very cocky with what they do, and they get away with most of what they do. I remember that whole big thing with Brazil about how expensive the PlayStation 4 is there.
2000.
It's really expensive there, and even though Jack personally was over there saying they're going to have that at an affordable price, basically lied about it, and there was no flack whatsoever for that. And now they just up and raise the prices in Canada, just out of nowhere for no reason, really. And apparently, I talked to somebody who lives in Brazil, and I asked them about the whole issue with the more expensive console, and they basically said it was bullshit. That it didn't have anything to do with extra taxes or anything like that. That's just what they were charging, and it was outrageous. So I think that it's just unfortunate for gamers from the company that claims to be for the gamers. See what I did there?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Hey, Showstopper, let me your thoughts, man. Give me your thoughts on that.
It's a test of change. I had said it earlier today in my video. If y'all want to go see what my review is on that, check it out on my channel. It's a test of change, man. They trying to test the waters to see if they can get that over, and if they can get that over, you guarantee it's gonna come here to America.
So you think? Oh, so you think they just testing the waters? Like I said before.
Yeah, I think they just testing. It's a test of change, man. Companies does it all the time. They test and see how it goes and how it operates. And you know what I'm saying? If it goes over like how they hope, it will come here. What bothers me with this is I have never seen a console or a company raise their price when they just told us publicly at E3 that it's $399, $400 for this console, and now you trying to raise it. So that's let me know that this console should have been higher anyway. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So why do it 5 months later and you want to raise it, and it was going well for you?
Let me add something to what you're saying, Show. Not to cut you off. I remember at E3, and it's crazy. I just did an interview with Red Dragon. We talked about this also, and I'm gonna say it again. E3, you remember Sony's show was 30 to 40 minutes late after Microsoft, yeah. And it was back then. It was a last minute decision to take the camera outside the box, and it was and even Kojima, the brainchild behind Metal Gear, what I'm playing right now. This game is fucking beautiful. He said he was surprised at how low the PlayStation 4 price was, because this system was supposed to be $400, but they was trying to take the legs up from the Microsoft. So what the big thing is, they was going to sell it at $500, make a little bit on each system that was sold, and make everybody subscribe to PlayStation Plus. And that's what happened. Not everybody that bought a PS4 subscribed to PlayStation Plus. And not everybody, and even if you did subscribe to PlayStation Plus, these people, they just want to play those free games that you have inside the market, those fucking free indie games. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sony games software does not, they don't have a high attach rate as the motherfucking Xbox One, or it is what it is. It's not me trolling. This is guys, and it's true. Like I say, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. You know what I mean? And they end up fucking themselves. And I think the reason why the motherfuckers at Sony looking at Jack Tritton, like making him, I guess he ain't just leave voluntarily. It's bullshit. They got his ass about it. Nobody leaves a big paycheck on the table. That's bullshit. They got his ass about it. You know, you made us sell our system at $400, and we're losing, which is true. They lose $60 on each console sold. They do.
Right.
You know what I mean? They think they're supposed to make $18, but you got to realize they got tax, shipping fees, and stocking fees, and all shit like that. You know what I mean? They're losing like $60, man, on that. Hey, Black Lebowski, let me hear your thoughts on them raising the price after about 4. How long the PlayStation came out in November? So you got December, January, February, March.
It's about 5 months.
You know what I mean? Black Lebowski, let me hear your thoughts on that, man.
I'm just gonna. I guess I should just kind of extend on what I don't know his name, but he's basically saying
Showstopper or Crap Gamer.
Showstopper or Crap.
Yeah, man. You know, I've never, ever seen a product come out and then later they fucking raise the price on it. Mm-hmm. And really, man, I'm looking at Sony's income statement. Like, I put this in my videos, and let's see, here in 2013, they made $457,000, and then the year before they lost $5,549,000. 2011, Sony lost $3,132,000. They're predicting a $1.1 billion loss sometime from now. They're laying off employees, so this is. I mean, they're fucking struggling financially. So, I mean, this is the end of the days for Sony. They're lying to their customers. They got people hyped up. And now, I mean, just this price going up is just a telltale, man. Then you got Jack Tritton leaving. So, man, I look at the finances and you broke, nigga. You fucking, yeah, of course you're going to raise your fucking price.
You know what the tripped out part about the whole thing is? When they raising the price, that's letting me know that console should have been higher.
I told you what Kojima said. What he said, you know, he was shocked because right after they did the E3 announcement, you know, I think it was what's up with him, Jeff Keefe. We never seen him. I'm sorry, I'm chopping his name. I do apologize. He interviewed him, and he said he was surprised at the price of the PlayStation 4. And you know, he was shocked that it was so low. You know what I mean? And here, you know, Microsoft, it came out $500. They got the Kinect, but that's another story in entirety. But yeah, that's right. And so finish what you were saying, bro.
Oh, that's all I was saying. It was like, you know, it's just amazing that they would do that. Not only that, they raising everything. If you think about just everything that they don't raise the PSI. Now the games is getting ready to be raised to $70. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at them raising all their prices, and it's just, I'm sitting here like, you gonna really pinch and squeeze money out of your consumers that was supporting you because you was for the gamers, you know what I'm saying, and all this. You know, Sony was for the gamers, you know what I'm saying, and then all of a sudden now you wanna go in their booty with no Vaseline, you know what I'm saying? So
wait, hold up,
this is crazy.
Hey, wait, hold up, Joe just joined. Hey, Joe, let me hear your thoughts, but this console been on the market for 4 months now. In the years that you've been game, like I said before, I'm 36 years old. I've never seen a product be on the market for 4 or 5 months and get a price hike. Now you get shit to get a price cut, but a price hike. Have you ever seen anything like that?
Yeah, no, I ain't never seen no shit like that. That's some fucking bullshit. You know what I'm saying? in the history of gaming,
no. Hey, hold up, though. Hey, Doe.
And the opponents is the only motherfucker.
No, hey, hold up,
Doe.
Hey, Doe. No, hold up. Fuck the history of gaming and the history of consumerism. Have you ever seen a product on the market?
Price hikes in consumerism, but not in the gaming.
I know something that's been on the market for fucking 4 or 5 months, and I'm not talking about one store, all across the board for the whole goddamn country. Not saying that it's going to be this price for a certain amount of time and then we're going to raise the price. I mean, out of nowhere, these niggas with a left hook, they snuck the shit out of them. Straight snuck. You go into the store, you got, you were a kid, you go into the store. Let me be real, my mom was on welfare. When get the little check, imagine you go in the store to get Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and all week you've been pricing shit, it was $60. You go in the store, they say, hey, we want $85 for this motherfucker. But you realize not only did they raise the price on the console, they're exclusives by $10.
Man, with your money funny, you do some strange things, man.
Them niggas, they might go out there butt naked and tap dance on Apollo. That's crazy. And of course, everybody's in my video talking about, or whoever's really talking about, well, the price of the Canada's money is less than, that doesn't mean, like, cause last time I checked, motherfucking Canada. I'm sorry, Sony is a Japanese company. It has nothing to do with the power of the Dow, the power of the yen. It has,
Dude, if that was the case, then they would have released that console at a higher price.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
They wouldn't did this shit months down the line.
There
You
go.
get what I'm saying?
There
That
you
don't
go.
make no goddamn sense.
Let me
Yeah,
chime
go-
in for 1 second.
Yeah, go ahead.
If that were the case, why is it Nintendo, who is a Japanese company, raising their price in Canada?
Thank you.
Why isn't Microsoft raising their price in Canada if it's just dollars
Thank
and
you.
cents? And as
Yeah.
far as I'm concerned, $50, that should be money that Sony eats because they released the console. That's a promise that they're broken now. They released it for $3.99, and now they've broken that promise too. They're breaking all kinds of promises lately. I wouldn't believe them, no matter what they say. If you're a gamer, you believe what Sony's saying, you need to have your head examined because they're obviously telling some tall tales. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hold that thought.
They sell a lot of pipe dreams. man.
Hold that
Yeah,
thought.
they-
Wait, hold that thought. Xbox broadcast. I'm sorry, get it, shoot.
Yeah. Yeah, they just sell a lot of pipe dreams.
They're selling people bridges. They sold people a PS4 that's a box of Lucky Charms that says marshmallows coming later. That's basically.
Wait, hold up, Joe.
That's basically what
Hold
they're
up,
selling.
Joe. You said they did
You know
what, Joe?
I'm saying?
Hey, how that saying go, man? If you believe Sony, shoot, I got a bridge in Brooklyn that I will sell you for the low. You get what I'm saying?
Yo, that's
And
crazy.
it's not mean. It's just the fact that they get everything they do gets totally swept under the rug by their fans. Like they're the only people I know that see a clear downgrade worse than Watch Dogs, and people were talking about that for weeks. Infamous Second Son is downgraded worse than Watch Dogs, and they're talking about it's an upgrade. How the hell do you see that?
Hey,
That's
man.
not an upgrade.
Hey, man.
That is not an upgrade.
Dude,
I
dude,
sat here and
they
said
tell
this.
you anything, and they believe
Yeah,
it.
I sat there and said this. It's 1080p, and then it's PlayStation's 1080p. You know what I'm saying? It's washed out. You know what I'm saying? It's bootleg. It's a bootleg 1080p, man. That's exactly what it is.
Dude, they showed the
Wow.
E3. Listen, I think it was either it was IGN or GameSpot. They put the pictures from E3 and they put the new pictures up of the picture when they said it didn't change or whatever, and you can clearly see the shit has changed. And it look washed out, like Showstopper said. It clearly
Washed
look
out
washed
1080p.
out. You get what I'm saying?
Washed out 1080p.
But these ponies believe, man, they didn't change nothing. It look exactly the same. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man. Do you see that big ass star on his back? That big ass star was not on his back in the original E3 footage. That bitch was small, petite, and looked nice. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
the
These
shaders
They
and
also
the jacket,
they use
everything was
foliage. They use foliage as well to like cover up detail and stuff. Like you notice in some of the shots, originally you saw like signs and stuff, and you could see the detail in the signs. Now they're covering it with plants and stuff. You know what I mean? So that's a telltale sign to me. And also, originally you could see like the jackets were made of denim and things like that, and now it just looks like blurry material, just like fake. You know what I mean? Like, and where's the people in this city? It's supposed to be a live city, right? There's no people. There's no shadows. There's no reflections. There's no nothing. How is this some graphical benchmark that people are talking about? I'm not saying that the game's going to be bad. It could be a damn good game. I didn't enjoy the first one.
I'm
but-
still waiting to see this 50% that the PlayStation is supposed to be over the Xbox One. That's what I'm waiting on.
Wait.
Somebody please show
Hey,
this
wait,
shit
hold
to
up,
me.
Joe. Hold up. I got to do a plug. If you 3, 4, what many motherfuckers call 5? If you 5
Yeah,
motherfuckers don't go out and buy that motherfucking Metal Gear, that shit is beautiful. All right, I'm sorry. Plug is over.
You got it on the one or you got it on PS4?
Hey, come on, nigga. Put your face right next to the screen.
Dude,
Wait,
why
hold,
you
fuck
getting
that.
Oh, there, it's 720.
Hey, Stowstopper.
It's
Put your
720p,
hey,
man.
Showstopper. Put your hold up. Put your face right next to the screen. Slap the shit out you, nigga. Do some dumb shit like that. All right. Okay, all right. Like I said, man, I'm not gonna be selfish. I'm gonna share with everybody. I'm gonna broadcast it while I'm playing it live. That shit is beautiful. But anyway, back to what I was saying. The question, like I said, I've never in the history of consumerism. I'm not talking about one store may raise the price, but just imagine as a kid, like I said before, like I'm gonna give you guys a prime example. Backdrop. I remember I wanted Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and I'm gonna take you guys back in the day. You guys may not remember. cartridges were very expensive, more than fucking. I remember me paying $75 for some cartridges back in the day, and it was one store downtown Newark. And you guys from Newark are watching my channel or watching this show, this podcast. It was a store downtown called Meg's Radio, and they had beepers and they had a whole bunch of Nintendo games. This store was shiesty as hell. They would sell you a cartridge without the fucking box. They would just give you the cartridge in the sleeve and sell it to you as new. But anyway, and they wanted last week, the week prior, they wanted $60 for Mike Tyson's Punch Out, right? So my mother didn't get a welfare check until the following week. So we went to that motherfucker. Don't you know that motherfucker told my mother $85 for Mike Tyson's Punch Out? Wow. You talking about a nigga, and I done saved by nickels, dimes, and quarters. Oh, you talking about a nigga was hurt because my grandmother came through and saved the day. You know what I mean? You know, like I said, my grandmother was a school teacher, but you talking about a nigga hurt? Oh man, I would told everybody all week in school I'm getting Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Man, if I ain't come money, I had that goddamn game. But I said it to say this though. I said it to say this. But imagine if you were a kid and you saved up all your nickels and your dimes to go out and get the PlayStation 4. You're gonna get it. And you walk in the store, they tell you that motherfucker, not only are the games going from $60, just their exclusives, which I'm saying is fucked up. Not only are they going from $60 to $70, but they're fucking raising the console by $50. Now Sony won't be having to do all this backgammon, back alley backgammon, had they not tried to fucking stick the shaft to Microsoft and take the knees and cut their price of the system, and also said, you know what, and hopped on board with the DRM. They have been making money both ends, all across the board. So
hold on. Let me cut in and add some extra to that shit.
Yeah.
And with the PlayStation Plus too, if they weren't giving everything away for free, that motherfucker, you know what I'm saying?
Hashtag no free stuff.
Yeah. This shit won't be going on.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know. Anyway, like I said, maybe we can look behind the scenes and find what Sony actually give these developers, these companies to put their games on. You know what I mean? They're not giving nothing new. They're giving a bunch of old shit. I wonder what Sony has to pay to because I don't even think I was waiting to see some numbers from the PlayStation Plus. Their numbers are still nowhere as attach rate as good as Xbox Live for far as PlayStation Plus. You know what I mean? Sony
it's the same shit. Dude, the sound quality on there.
I know that. I'm just saying, but maybe it's a mandatory to have PlayStation Plus to play online with the PlayStation 4. Sony doesn't really have any. Well, the third party. Yeah.
It's not mandatory.
You know what? I think this came.
You don't gotta have to watch Netflix.
There you go. Shit. There you go. There you go. There you go.
You know why I think they trying this now, and they seeing the success that Microsoft is having selling their console at $500. They testing the waters to see if they can get away, what they can get away with. So if you bump it up $50, you know what I'm saying? You seeing Microsoft having success in just 13 countries, which is close to like 4 million consoles in 13 countries, and it's just been out for a few months. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. So they looking at the money and the profits that they are making, and they trying to get in on that. So now they want to raise it $50, test the waters, see if that goes over, and then they're gonna release it in all other regions. I guarantee you.
Oh, okay. Damn. All right. So boom. hey, crap. What's else been Twitter on Twitter? What's the latest other shit? What about the Infamous debacle and how they're saying that Infamous didn't receive a graphical downgrade?
Yeah. That's all. That's what's going on right now. The funny thing is that they were live streaming the game. Several sites were, and people screen captured this stuff. And there is absolutely no shadows. Like you can be in front of a light, there's no shadow. It's worse than pre-baked because there's none. There's no shadowing. There's no reflections. You're standing in front like there's water on the ground, but you have no reflection. So it's one of those things where people are like, this game's going to be the best looking game ever. And I think that it's an okay looking game, pretty good, but it's definitely not going to be a graphical benchmark if you can't even do those type of basic effects. And basically what they could do is scale down from 1080p and probably get these effects in, and the game would look better.
Hey, crap. Yeah. I want you to speak on this social metrics Titanfall, infamous Second Son debacle that's going on right now. You know what I'm
saying? Basically what happened was they were saying that Infamous Second Son was actually more socially talked about on social networks than Titanfall was, which basically was a flat-out lie. If anybody that's on his Twitter as much as I am, you'll see there's trending topics. Titanfall has been trending for weeks. Xbox One has been trending off and on for weeks. I've never seen Infamous Second Son trend a single time. You can actually check out the analysis of what's and put it against each other and see what it is. And Titanfall has been outworking Infamous by a large number, a very, very large number. I'm not saying Infamous isn't going to sell well or that it's a bad game. I'm just saying it's more lies and propaganda to try to build up an average franchise at best that nobody really cared about on the PS3, sold very poorly, and then it's just a sequel. I mean, at the end of the generation, didn't we hear how Microsoft was shit because they just released sequels, and here they are releasing new IPs. It's like, it might be third party, but Titanfall, Rise, these games are new IPs, you know what I mean? And they're doing a good mix by bringing back stuff like Killer Instinct, and Sony's relying on sequels. Those like Killzone 5 or whatever it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, let me add in on that one.
Yeah.
So this is crazy. I was reading this today, man, and man, if I was sitting over there in my little fucking corner, you know what I'm saying, playing my PlayStation 4, playing some knack, you know what I'm saying? If I'm doing that and my boys playing Titanfall, I'm gonna be pissed the fuck off. You know, that's what's going on, man. These cats, they're just talking shit, man. They don't have Titanfall. Like, I can't even try to explain how.
Oh, okay. Wait, hold up. I got a question for you, Blackie.
What's up?
Well, that sounds kind of crazy. I gotta call you something else, Blackie. All right, check it out, man. Lebowski, check it out, right? Now, of course, you like you said, the Titanfall has been getting a lot of slack from the. You seen the Metacritic score on, you know, you got like a 87, 89, 90, but you saw the user score was like like the people, like me and you, that rated the game. Some people gave it a 1, some people gave it a 2. Do you think Titanfall was getting that much hate if that game was on the PS4? Would it be any word about the bots or only 6 versus 6?
Oh, no, man. If the game was on PlayStation 4, if it was exclusive to PS4, these little ass pirates would be like, this is the end of Halo. This is the end of fucking Gears of War. This is the end of Xbox One. That's how they treat shit, man. Like, that's why they're talking about Infamous. And you hear like, I was reading some article that said the developer said he was disappointed that people were seeing it early and whatever you guys are talking about. I'm like, hell no, man. Like, you just don't have Titanfall, man. There's people in the fucking grocery stores, in the gas stations, talking about this game. Like, every time I'm in GameStop and I was picking up this remote, this lady had her son. You know, he's picking up an Xbox One, man. This little kid was so excited, and that's what I mean. I'm sitting here trying not to think about Titanfall right now, but I mean, if you're on the other end of that, if you've been told you're gonna get Agent, you know, Rockstar exclusive, and this 5 years later, and that shit ain't came, Last Guardian, you know, and you have this superior console. This thing is supposed to be easier to develop for. You should be like, well, where the fuck is my Titanfall? Where's something that's better? And it's not there. Like I said, it just goes to finances, man. I've never known a broke ass nigga who was going on vacation, who was going out to eat every night, who's buying new shit. You know, they struggling. Like, that's what it is. Like, they're fucking, Sony is really struggling financially. So, I mean, it's just gonna keep, all this disappointment is just gonna keep happening. I don't know how a fanboy, a Sony fanboy, can sit there and talk shit after The Last Guardian, after
you came me with the butt pounds.
It's crazy, man. And it's like, now they're supposed to have this amazing console, and they got fucking a bunch of indie games.
Hey, if they're for the gamers, why aren't they getting the games that gamers want, like Titanfall? I think that played into Jack Tretton leaving as well, because he failed to secure this game. You know what I mean? I think that's absolutely a possibility that played in the mix. I think other reasons as well, but I firmly believe that they're a little bit ticked off that they didn't get this game. You know what I mean? I mean, you're willing to deal, and he was the one that probably walked away from that at some point. They just don't have the servers to offer. They don't have the money to offer. And that's why I think that at the end of the day, it's one of those games where it'll be on Microsoft platforms as long as Microsoft wants it to be. Sony, I don't think, has the way of competing with that. That's like the whole thing with the Resident Evil rumor that it's going to be an Xbox One exclusive, and people are like, no way, no way. And you covered that, Zaire, and I covered it as well, that, hey, I'm 50-50 on that, and here's why. Microsoft could do the same deal with that they did with Dead Rising and cut costs for Capcom and maximize profits for them because Microsoft paid for the advertising, the development. They paid for everything basically, and then Capcom still makes the money on it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they could do a similar deal. It's less expensive to dev for one console, and they could do that and still make a good amount of money. And this would be something that would help Microsoft in these other countries, not just Japan, but worldwide as well. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I would definitely say that the fact that these people are going out of their way to spread like misinformation and the Sony fans buy it, that's a little bit frustrating at times. You know, I don't know if you guys agree with that, but it's just frustrating how they have like head in the sand the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Just they ignore it, and just take it. And just, it baffles me as a consumer how these people are okay with that. You know what I mean? They want to get on Microsoft's case for doing one thing or the other. But then when Sony does things and lies repeatedly, and the reason why they're lying is because they're in financial dire straits. Don't kid yourself. They are in trouble. And so, of course, they're going to lie. The PS4 is set up as a sprint machine. They're running a sprint, trying to get out to this lead. Microsoft has it's a long distance runner. You know what I mean? Xbox One.
Yeah.
That's set up with Microsoft's financial situation, obviously much better. It's evolving. We've seen the Xbox One evolve already. It gets updates every month. It's getting games. I mean, it very frequently it's getting games.
Mm-hmm.
The PlayStation 4, what has it gotten as far as an exclusive retail game since its launch? It hasn't gotten anything.
But it's getting supposedly deep down and free to play.
Yeah, well, free to play, you know what I'm saying? That seems to be like what they're doing a lot is using free to play and indie games to try to cover up for their lack of exclusives. And I don't think anybody went out and bought a PS4 with those types of games in mind. They probably were thinking, I'm going to get, Uncharted and God of War, but those games are years off, you know?
Yeah.
Let me add something on this, man. Is it me or what do you guys think about Titanfall? Because I really think that a lot of everything that we're talking about really it just boils down to the impact of this game. Because I have not been so addicted to some fucking game like this. It's crazy.
And you know what? To add just like I said before.
Oh my goodness, I feel you on that shit there, man.
It's like crack.
I think it's a big misconception. Everybody says that it's nothing but Call of Duty with mechs. And this plays nothing like Call of Duty. And I say this again and again and again. The only thing that Call of Duty has in common with Titanfall is Respawn. That they did, Call of Duty 4. I was just watching fucking Red Dragon's video, and he was on some level. I haven't got there yet. I didn't know that you can fucking stay on the wall. This motherfucker was literally hanging on the wall with one hand and had the gun shooting that and tearing the motherfuckers up on the floor. Like, he was hanging on the wall. Like, I don't know how the fuck he did it. Like,
you gotta hold LT.
I didn't know that shit, dog. He was on the wall. Like, he was like a fucking roach.
The game is going to keep evolving, too. The thing about Titanfall is that you have that crazy fast, die real quick kind of Call of Duty gameplay when you're a pilot. But then you're parkouring, you're running up walls, you're going fucking from building to building, ziplining. And then they throw these Titans down. These things kind of slow up the whole gameplay. You know what I'm saying? You last a little bit longer. The weapons, you have to charge some of the weapons. They don't... You know what I'm saying? It's not like sniper rifles, assault rifles, and SMGs. Like, you got weapons like the triple threat. This thing like shoots out
futuristic weapons.
Yeah, just crazy shit that like people are gonna just take this shit to a whole nother level, man. But this is the thing that I've noticed, man. I finished school like in 2009. I don't remember when I finished school, man.
Oh shit!
But
oh no!
Oh my goodness!
Check this out, man.
There was some Alzheimer's there.
You know, I'm telling you, I fucking vape way too much fucking weed. Anyway, but for real, man, one of the things that we had to do in the last semester of college, we had to actually run a business simulation, and my part of the group work was working on the finances. And what we learned that was really important is when you pay people good money, you offer them benefits, you get this worker productivity, you get really good fucking results in the end. And in Sony's position, man, they're firing people, they're losing all this money, so the creative side is really going to be effective. Hassan, how do you How do you think these studios are going to make these great games if they're hearing about people over at Santa Monica getting hit with layoffs?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to be worrying. You can't really take all of your focus and put it into a great game. That's why they don't have nothing like Titanfall. Like, Titanfall, to me, is that shit is like, oh, my God. Man, that shit's got some crazy buzz around it, man.
Yeah, but it's like, anyway, okay. Well, back to the original question. We sometimes, I guess, we get to talking, and like I said, the name of the show is, Big Game or Small Talk. We get to talking. I wish a lot of times I can record a lot of shit. That'd be some weirdo shit, but we be having a lot of great conversations behind the scenes. And a lot of times we shoot this podcast, we don't go in here, we don't have a script, we just bounce ideas off each other. But like I said, we were talking about the whole, like I said, the Sony ponies, or just the motherfuckers in denial. They're saying that Infamous Second Son didn't get a fucking downgrade graphically. And I said this before, and I told you, some of you guys are a little younger than me. I'm 36 years old. I remember E3 2000 when Sony showed all these, claiming they was going to have Pixar-type graphics. They showed all these fucking ducks in the tub. And
I remember that.
And saying that the PlayStation 2 was going to be able to achieve visuals like this. Then I'm going to take you back to E3 2005, again, when they showed the Killzone.
Worst E3 ever.
When they showed the Killzone footage and the Motorstorm footage. And wasn't none of that shit done in real time. Wasn't none of that shit done on the specs of a PlayStation 3. Like, it was crazy as hell. They were saying how powerful the cell was and all this shit. It was going to cure cancer. Now I'm gonna take you back to E3. I'm not it's real. Hey, Joe, that's real talk, son. Hey, son, no, that's Joe. Yeah, the Stanford University was using the power of the cell to help cure cancer. I bullshit you not. And then I'm gonna take you back to E3 2013. And like I said, Sony didn't have much to show on stage because they kind of shot, they loaded, they unveiling in February. They didn't show any new games.
They're still living off that February reveal.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? And I said, like, damn, it'd be funny as hell if Sony shot, they loaded, them unveiled in February, which was great. It blew me away. That was sad, but they showed the same shit came E3 2013. But what I'm saying is that they showed the Infamous Second Son, and the game did look great graphically. It looked like, oh shit, like, I'm not saying I'm a big Infamous fan. I'm not, The only reason I'm gonna buy this one because I don't have anything to play on the PS4. Now, with that being said, the game that they showed at E3 is nothing that's on the actual real game. That game has been downgraded a lot. How the fuck you gonna have a hold up though. No, fuck that though. How you gonna not have shadows in not Infamous Second Son, which is a next generation game, but you got shadows in The Last of Us? Come on, man. Hey, come on, though. Chime. Hey, somebody chime in. I'm done. How the fuck you gonna have shadows? Listen, how you gonna?
They say the graphics is exactly the same, man. They say it's a different time of day. That's what made the graphics change. I'm like, for real? Do you see the big ass star on this dude back now compared to the original?
hey, but I'm just saying, how you not gonna?
Dude,
it was more clarity in the E3 showing. The visuals was more clean.
Yeah.
With the shadows, and just like he was talking about with the star on the back, you saw the bird head at the top.
Yeah,
I don't know
you can see the denim and stuff.
Yeah,
you can see everything.
But check it out.
Everything.
But check it
now
out.
They threw a patch on old boy jacket. It was suede. Now it's like
Pat
old wool looking thing.
Hey, yo, but
what is this? It's like a patch on it.
Hey, but no, wait.
It's upgraded.
Hey, wait, time out. Hey, check it out. Hey, hold on. Check it out.
Patch supposed to take you from looking at the whole jacket. Take a look at this patch. Let them focus on this patch.
Hey, wait, hold up, though. Check this out. Now, answer me this. Listen, answer me this. Riddle me this. Now, is this Sony's fault? It's because they're pushing the whole 1080p. Maybe they could achieve those. Listen, maybe they could achieve those graphics had they left the game in 720p or 900p.
Yeah.
Maybe they could have achieved those visuals had they left, the game at, like I said, 720p or 900p. You know what I mean? And what's going to be pushing this whole 1080 thing? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just being real. It's 1080p. It's gonna be sub 30 frames per second. I'm trust me, it's not gonna lock it in at 30 frames. Maybe they should have broken that bitch down to 720p, turned MSA and all that shit over. Like I said, you got a game with no fucking shadows. Like, come on, man, that's crazy as hell.
I'm still waiting on shadows.
Let me ask you this:
50% of power, man. Fuck that shit.
Hold on, let me ask y'all this. Since when is 720p a bad thing?
It's not. It's a bad thing since Sony tried to make it into a bad thing while lying to consumers while their main game was running 720p online the whole time anyway, and nobody knew.
You know what, crap? I'm gonna check it out. You know what? I'm playing Metal Gear Solid 5 or Ground Zero, and it's probably the best looking game graphically that's out. Not better than Rise, but this motherfucker is drop dead gorgeous. You know what I mean? Like I said, I have a 1080p, and like I said, the chip that Microsoft has, that HANA 2.0, that scalar chip is second to none. You know what I mean? But like I said, in the day, it's not a bad thing. Like how many games were on the PlayStation 3 that were sub 720p or 540p? But they were 720p on the Xbox 360.
Mass Effect, for example, was 540p on PlayStation 3. I mean, that to me would be a huge deal. Nobody said a damn word about it. I mean, nobody bought Mass Effect on the PlayStation 3, but had they bought it, you know what I'm saying? Maybe somebody should have made a big deal about these things, but nobody cared.
You know what? I think Sony was feeling themselves a little bit too much. They was trying to stick it to Microsoft so bad that they came out and was just feeling themselves so hard that they get caught up in a moment and was like, get used to hearing 1080p, 60 frames per second. The crowd was roaring. You know what I'm saying? They was just throwing out all kind of stuff. And come to find out, the console can't do it right now, man. That's
like,
pause. Wow.
Wait, pause. I got to go doo-doo, man. Hold up, pause.
They was feeling themselves a little bit too much.
Now, now we saying all this shit about not saying the Infamous. It may be a great game. I didn't care for the first two. It may, but I'm just saying it's not the same game that they showed at E3. And the reason why I'm saying the reason why I think it's funny because they gave so much shit to Crytek when they went from I think it was 150,000 polygons to maybe 90,000 polygons, and they said that it gave it more of a whatever the fuck about the skin. It looked more realistic as far as the armor or whatever. They gave them such shit about it, you know what I mean? But when Sony, no, it's okay. Like I said, is the hypocrisy in this community is fucking on the scale from 1 to 10. It's on the fucking 1,500, man. The hypocrisy, man.
Hey, I'll say this. There's some bad Xbox fans. There's bad Nintendo fans. There's bad fans all across the board.
You got bad people,
I've never seen fans as crazy, batshit crazy as Sony fans. They are just a whole new level, in my opinion.
So you know what? Like, it's crazy. It's funny that you say that you haven't seen Sony fans that are as which is the truth. Like I said, I'm gonna be real. Like I'm more now. I got more serious content on my channel than I did before the past. I would troll the shit out of it. I would fucking ride Nintendo fans to the Wii U weirdos, Wii U homosexuals. I used to clown them to death. I never received a death threat from any of them. But when I started talking about the PlayStation 4 and Sony and their woes, bro, I've gotten death threats. I've had people cut out pictures of their penises and taped it next to my daughter's face. Like, that's the craziest shit. All over my opinion over video games. Like, our first podcast, I believe, or maybe one of our first official podcasts, me and Dope talked about, like, our fanboys ruining game. It's one thing it's okay to be a fan of something, but I look at some of the shit they be saying on Twitter, even some of the, don't question you say crap, I had to block some motherfuckers. Like, these motherfuckers really take that shit to heart. And 99.9% of them don't even fucking own a PS4. You know what I mean? I'm just being real.
Yeah. Well, it's like I got. Go ahead.
Is, dude. Man, but I think of it like this, dude. You get a PlayStation 4. You done spent $400, and it's like, I mean, people really get upset about that shit. And now, I mean, I don't know. My one friend, he got a PlayStation. He feels burnt as hell because there's no fucking games on it. He got an Xbox One. He's playing Titanfall, but it's just sitting there. So you got to think about these folks who invested this money. They heard all these things. They started thinking one way, and I mean, it's like now they just getting burnt, and you're gonna lash out, man. You're gonna say things. You're gonna get nasty, dude. When you're on the losing side of things, that's when you're the nastiest. When you're winning, you're gonna be laughing. You're gonna be shooting the shit, having fun. But when you're getting your ass kicked, you're gonna be spiteful. You're gonna be mean. You're gonna be hateful. You're gonna do things that you normally wouldn't do. And that's what I mean. That whole fucking, man, PSN, man. I think that really, a lot of these fucking Sony fanboys, man, that whole network, that whole being able to fucking make a bunch of different IDs and fucking spam people, man. I can't tell you how many people I met on the PSN who, like, just would spam you, fucking make up a new free name and then spam your ass again. They're terrible, man. Like that whole
dude, man, they're a bunch of butt pirates, man. You know what I'm saying, dude? Let me tell you about this here, man. You know, Sony fans is bad. When you say something about their console, they will literally go. Supposedly, straight men will go on and look at gay pictures to get a gay picture just to paste your face on it. You get what I'm saying? These dudes literally do stuff like that, man. When they waste their time, when they would literally waste their time, when they supposed to be gaming or doing other stuff in their life to write whole articles on Metacritic of a game they ain't even touched. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what the tripped out part is? That shows you that they don't have nothing to do.
Nothing to do. They have.
They got nothing.
They were too busy talking about Titanfall and about how they wished it was on PlayStation 4 to talk about Infamous. That's why I know that that's all bullshit about Infamous outdoing them on social media. It's not true because the only thing those people were talking about and what was the #1 topic on Sony Gap was Titanfall. You know what I'm saying? Anything that's Titanfall related. N4G. What's the hottest story over there? Titanfall. Everything Titanfall. That's the only thing that people are talking about. That game is the best online game since Call of Duty 4. I gave it a really good review. It's amazing. I had people on my thing trying to say, oh, well, it's got bad frame rate. It's this, it's that. It's 792p. And I'm like, well, Killzone's 720p. You know what I'm saying? Who gives a shit? It plays great. That's what matters. Yeah. People are going to be on this game a year down the road where there's already nobody on Killzone. So you guys got to deal with that. You know what I mean?
Free DLC. They get free DLC on Killzone and nobody still don't want to play.
Exactly. They have to do free DLC.
You know what the tripped out part is? The tripped out part is, and this is what people don't realize. Infamous, you're going to get what you're going to probably end it once, possibly twice.
Yeah, dude.
One thing about Titanfall, when other games start to come out, you know what I'm saying? You're going to break away from it, but you're going to come back and play it.
Yeah.
All year long. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to get your value out of it. It ain't like, you know, they sit here like, oh, this game going to be done in a month. No, it's not. You have Metal Gear Solid coming out and all this other little stuff that's getting ready to come out next the month prior. And you're going to enjoy that and mixing it on into the mix of your rope. And you know what I'm saying? Of what you choose to play. That game ain't gonna get old no time soon.
Man, I got a brand new game over here that I haven't touched yet because I've been playing strictly Titanfall. Final Fantasy 13. I ain't touched that shit.
You know what? I actually wish that Titanfall would get a little bit old because then I'd be able to play Plants vs. Zombies, which is an awesome game.
Yeah,
but I can't break away.
That's another mixed game.
Yeah, I can't break away from Titanfall. You know, it's like all these great Xbox One games. You know, I got Strider that I haven't finished yet. It's like these games keep popping out, and on Xbox One anyway, and I don't have enough time to actually play hardly any of them because I'm having too much fun on Titanfall. You know, and that's the beauty of Xbox Live. You know what I'm saying? And Xbox consoles has always been these strong online games, and we'll be playing that game for a long time. Everybody will. And when you go into GameStop in 3 weeks' time, how many copies of Infamous do you think we'll see used? It's going to be... It's going to be a lot. Just like Killzone, just like Knack. It's going to be a ton of used copy because there's no replay value there. You play it once, like you said, maybe twice, and then you're done. So you got your 18 hours in if you play it twice, 9 to 10 if you play it once, and then you're trading that bitch in, and then you're back to indie games. Because once their next game come out that's not a sports game, we know MLB The Show is coming out on PlayStation 4. But